The journey begins with Vera, a young warrior from a distant planet. She is drawn into a battle not only against her enemies, but also against herself. Strength, wisdom, and transformation will decide her fate, and perhaps the fate of the entire galaxy. Let's begin. The arena looms before her, bathed in an eerie, half-lit glow. The metallic walls of the training ground pulse faintly, reflecting a soft, blue light that flickers like distant stars lost in a forgotten universe. The air is thick with an energy that seems to hum through the floor beneath Vera's boots, as though the very ground she stands on is alive with anticipation. The flickering lights overhead cast long shadows, distorting the figures of the humans below. Their heavy armor gleams dully under the harsh light, like ancient, rusted artifacts from a past civilization, out of place in the vast, gleaming world around them. Vera stands at the edge, her slender figure a stark contrast against the hulking figures of the humans encased in their suits. Her blue skin shimmers faintly, almost translucent in the dim light, as if she herself were part of the very fabric of the arena. Her long, lithe limbs are poised with the grace of a predator, the muscles beneath her skin coiling with barely contained power. Her eyes, bright and piercing, scan the humans below with a mix of curiosity and amusement. She crosses her arms, tilting her head as she observes them, her lips curling into a sly, almost predatory smile. There's something about the clunky, cumbersome suits that irks her, something that makes her feel superior and untouchable. She knows their weakness, feels it deep in her bones. The humans are only capable of hiding behind their technology, their reliance on cold, lifeless metal. But she is alive, her power coursing through her veins like liquid lightning, and no machine could ever replicate that. Vera, laughing softly to herself. Look at them, struggling in those metal shells. Do they really think they can challenge us? Her voice is laced with amusement, but there's also a hint of disdain. The words drip from her lips like poison, a mockery of the humans' efforts to wear the armor that has long been their crutch. Her eyes narrow slightly as she watches them move, their bulky frames clumsy and slow, their every step weighed down by the armor that encases them. She could see the sweat on their brows, the effort it takes for them to move at all. And yet, they think they can match her, a warrior born for combat, a creature whose speed and agility far outclass anything their technology could provide. Beside her, Callan stands silently, his gaze also fixed on the humans below. His posture is relaxed, though there is a wariness in his eyes. Callan, like Vera, is an Exari, his physique sleek and powerful, his senses sharp and attuned to the world around him. He shares her opinion of the humans but is more cautious, aware of the unpredictability that comes with facing a race so reliant on their technology. He knows the humans are not to be underestimated. Even with their bulky suits, they can be dangerous. Vera, still watching the humans below. They're hiding their weakness. They think they need technology to fight, but we don't. Callan's voice cuts through the tension, low and measured, as he steps closer to her, his hand resting lightly on the hilt of the blade at his side. His gaze shifts from the humans back to Vera, sensing the fire in her determination. His voice is laced with concern, but he's no stranger to her recklessness. Callan, warningly. Are you sure you want to challenge one? Those suits are heavy. They can't move like we do. His words hang in the air, a quiet plea, as if he's trying to reach her, to make her reconsider. He knows the Exari warriors are unmatched in speed and agility, their bodies honed for combat in a way that no suit could ever replicate. But even he has seen the humans move with a strange, mechanical precision. Their suits are clumsy, yes, but they are also resilient. There's a stubbornness in their design, a durability that has been forged over years of conflict. Callan worries that Vera's confidence could lead her to underestimate them. Vera, flashing a confident grin. That's exactly why I'll beat them. Let's see how strong they are without their armor. Her tone is sharp, filled with the kind of confidence that only the truly gifted possess. There is no fear in her voice, only the unwavering belief that she is destined to prove her superiority. She steps forward, her bare feet making no sound against the floor, as though she's gliding rather than walking. The sleekness of her form is mesmerizing, her movements fluid and purposeful, like a dancer preparing for a performance. Vera's eyes lock onto one human in particular, a soldier at the front of the group. His armor is heavy, but he stands tall, his posture firm and unyielding. There's something about him that catches her attention, a quiet strength, a presence that commands respect. She can see the glint of his helmet, the slight tension in his stance as he shifts his weight. He is no novice, and he will not be easy to defeat. Vera's smirk deepens as she steps into the center of the arena, her movements calculated and deliberate. The humans turn to look at her, some of them chuckling, unsure of what to make of her. She is barely half their size, her blue skin glowing with an ethereal light, her slender frame standing out against the heavy, metallic hulks of the armored soldiers. Yet she doesn't flinch, her eyes blazing with determination as she addresses them. Vera, her voice commanding, filled with authority. "Human, I challenge you." The words echo through the arena, the silence hanging thick in the air before a murmur ripples through the human soldiers. Their eyes flicker toward one another, unsure of how to respond to this strange, confident alien. Vera stands unmoving, her gaze never wavering. A few snickers can be heard, but they quickly die down as one man steps forward, his armor clicking with every movement. The soldier, a man named Ross, surveys her with a mixture of amusement and curiosity. He has faced aliens before, but never one like her. He's seen the speed of their kind, their agility and skill in battle, but he's also confident in the power of his suit. It's built for combat, heavy, unyielding, and practically invincible. In his mind, the challenge is simple: there is no way this small alien will stand a chance against him, not when he's clad in his suit. Ross, his voice calm, yet filled with a hint of amusement. "You serious? My suit is built to handle combat situations. You don't stand a chance." Vera's eyes narrow, a predatory gleam flashing in them as she steps forward, her voice steady and unshaken. Vera, confidently, "I don't need a suit to fight. Watch closely. I'll show you how a true warrior fights." With that, the challenge is set. The arena buzzes with energy as the humans gather around, eager to witness what promises to be an unusual spectacle. Callan watches silently from the edge, his expression unreadable. He knows the Exary's abilities, knows what Vera is capable of, but even he can't help but feel a twinge of uncertainty. Still, he remains by her side, ready for whatever may come next. In this opening scene, we've created a tense, mysterious atmosphere, focusing on the contrast between the alien and human characters, their abilities, and the technology they rely on. Vera's pride and confidence are clear, as is Callan's cautious nature. This sets the stage for the upcoming duel, creating anticipation for the battle to come. The arena falls into an eerie silence as Vera strides confidently into the center. Her movements are fluid and deliberate, each step sending a ripple through the air, the light flickering as though responding to her presence. The vast expanse of the arena, once filled with muted noise and murmurs, now feels as if it's holding its breath. The cold metal walls stretch high above, their surfaces flickering with strange symbols that glow faintly, their meanings lost to all but the ancient ones. Above, The lights flicker in and out like stars in a distant galaxy, casting a soft, unnerving glow across the arena floor. Vera's figure, slight but striking, moves like a shadow across the dusty floor. Her blue skin gleams with a faint, ethereal shimmer, the light making her seem almost otherworldly. There is something mesmerizing about the way she moves, graceful yet dangerous. Her body is perfectly attuned to her surroundings, a fine-tuned machine of natural power. Every step she takes seems to disrupt the very air around her, a silent display of the raw energy contained within her form. She reaches the center of the arena and pauses. Her posture is upright and commanding, her head held high, eyes sharp as a hawk's, scanning the humans who are now frozen in place, eyes wide, unsure of what to make of this unusual alien. Some of them exchange nervous glances, while others can't suppress a low laugh, clearly skeptical of her slender figure. Their laughter rings out, clashing with the tense silence that has settled over the arena. Vera, her voice strong and unwavering, cutting through the mockery like a blade. "Human, I challenge you." The words echo through the space, the challenge thrown out as a spark in a dry forest. For a moment, it feels like the arena itself holds its breath, the tension in the air palpable, thick with anticipation. The laughter from the humans dies down. Their eyes narrow, some more curious, others still doubtful. Their gazes flicker between Vera's lithe, graceful form and the massive hulks of armored soldiers surrounding them. It's clear they're unsure of what to make of this strange, blue-skinned being who dares to defy them. As Vera stands there, unflinching, her smirk widening with each passing second, the murmurs quiet down to nothing. The humans exchange uncertain glances, but one soldier steps forward. His armor creaks and clangs, an almost deafening sound in the otherwise silent arena. Ross, the soldier in question, is tall, broad-shouldered, and his every step resonates with power, despite the weight of his massive armor. His movements are slow but calculated, each shift in his posture purposeful. His helmet, with its reflective surface, catches the dim light, casting a harsh, unyielding glare. His presence is imposing, but there is a glint in his eye, something akin to amusement, mixed with respect, as he sizes up Vera. His voice, though firm and steady, carries a hint of incredulity. Ross, raising an eyebrow, his voice low but clear. "You sure about this? My suit is built for combat. It's stronger than anything you can do without one." The sound of his voice lingers in the air, the words themselves like the roll of thunder before a storm. The humans watching lean in, the energy in the arena crackling with anticipation. Ross's statement is not one of arrogance, but of a soldier's firm belief in the superiority of his technology. He steps forward, his every movement heavy, the thick armor encasing him a barrier between himself and the world around him. There's a subtle vibration in the air as his massive frame moves through the arena, the floor beneath his boots echoing with the weight of the suit's mechanical power. Vera watches him, her expression unshaken, the corner of her lips twitching into a confident smile. She knows the strength of her kind, knows the natural power that courses through her veins, a power no suit could replicate. She feels the weight of his words, but it only serves to fuel her determination further. She does not need his bulky armor. She does not need technology. She is living, breathing energy, and she has been trained to fight in ways the humans can barely comprehend. Vera, smiling, her voice filled with quiet confidence. "I don't need a suit to fight. Watch closely, and I'll show you what real strength is." Her voice is steady, the words laced with a promise, one that resonates deep within the arena's walls. There's a shift in the air, a flicker of electricity, as if her words themselves have begun to alter the fabric of the world around them. The humans shift nervously, but Vera stands unwavering. She knows what's coming. She knows she's already won. It's not a question of strength, not anymore. It's a question of spirit, of technique, of everything that makes her an Exari warrior. The crowd falls silent once more. Every eye is fixed on Vera, on Ross, and the tension in the air is palpable. It's as if the arena itself has become an extension of the battle to come, a place where technology and natural skill will collide, where steel will meet flesh and raw power will face the weight of machines. Vera takes a deep breath, feeling the cool air fill her lungs. She inhales the scent of dust, of age-old metal and echoes of past duels, of sweat and fear. She can almost feel the history of this place in her bones, the weight of those who have fought here before her. Her heart beats steadily, each thump like the pulse of a distant drum, a call to battle. With a sudden movement, she rolls her shoulders, loosening her muscles, preparing herself. She is ready. Ross raises his arms slightly, his armor shifting with a low hiss, the sound of metal against metal. He is fully aware of the alien's capabilities, but he's also confident in his own strength, bolstered by the armor that encases him. He shifts his weight, bringing his legs into a battle stance, his hands hovering near his weapons. His gaze never leaves Vera. He has seen fighters before, but something about her stance, the confidence in her eyes, makes him pause. It's almost like she's not just fighting him, she's fighting herself. The duel is about to begin. The energy in the arena is electric. The humans watch with bated breath, their gazes shifting between the two warriors. The quiet hum of the technology in the arena adds to the tension, its mechanical whirring and pulsing sound echoing around them as though the arena itself is alive, watching, waiting for the fight to unfold. There is no turning back now. Vera and Ross circle each other slowly, their movements deliberate and cautious. Vera's every motion is fluid, like water, her steps light but purposeful, her eyes locked on Ross. She can sense his hesitation, the tiniest flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. She feels it in her bones. She is faster than he is, but she cannot underestimate the power of his suit. She knows this will be a test of endurance, of control, not just of strength. The tension between them builds, stretching thin like a taut rope ready to snap. The first move will decide it all. Vera's heart races, but she does not allow her breath to quicken. She steadies herself, focusing on Ross's movements, on the subtle shifts of his weight, on the faintest sound of his breathing. This scene is designed to immerse the audience in the atmosphere of the duel, emphasizing the contrast between Vera's natural agility and Ross's technological advantage. The detailed descriptions of the arena, the characters, and their emotions add a layer of depth to the scene, making the audience feel the tension and the anticipation of what's to come. The energy builds slowly but surely, creating an atmosphere that is both mystical and mysterious, keeping the audience on edge and eagerly awaiting the beginning of the combat. As the scene progresses, we can delve deeper into the sensory experiences of the characters, drawing attention to the physical and emotional reactions that both Vera and Ross experience, keeping the focus on the clash of their ideologies and abilities. The soft hum of the arena is drowned out by the loud, metallic clanging of Ross's armor as he slowly, deliberately, prepares for the duel. Each movement of his is slow and measured, the weight of his suit echoing through the arena with every shift of his body. The air around him seems to tremble as the armor settles onto his form, the heavy plating clicking into place with a sound that is both mechanical and unsettling, like the bones of a giant coming to life. The armor is massive, a cold, unyielding shell that wraps around him like a second skin, its dull metallic surface reflecting the flickering lights above. The hum of energy coursing through his suit adds a soft, almost otherworldly vibration to the atmosphere. He moves with precision, his every action deliberate, as if each piece of the suit is an extension of his own body. Vera stands a few paces away, watching him with quiet disdain. Her posture is relaxed, but her eyes remain sharp, unblinking. The flickering lights cast shadows across her features, giving her an almost ethereal quality. Her skin shimmers in the dim glow, a vibrant shade of blue that seems to pulse with the energy contained within her. She feels the heat of the moment building as she watches Ross struggle with the cumbersome weight of his armor. His movements, though controlled, are slow, clunky. It doesn't scare her, it only fuels her belief in the superiority of her natural strength. Vera takes a deep breath, her muscles tightening, preparing herself for the first strike. She senses the energy around her, the subtle shifts in the air as if the very space is anticipating the coming battle. Her mind sharpens, and her senses become a finely tuned instrument, every detail of the arena, every shift in Ross's stance, etched in her awareness. Her body, honed through years of training, is ready. She knows her advantage lies in her speed and agility. There is no way Ross, encased in that bulky suit, can match her, she is sure of it. With a sudden burst of speed, Vera lunges forward. Her form becomes a blur, darting toward Ross like a streak of lightning cutting through the dim light. Her movements are almost fluid, graceful, a true testament to her natural abilities. She aims a powerful strike at his chest, her fist driving forward with all the force her muscles can muster. It's a quick, precise attack, a perfect example of X-ray speed and precision. She expects Ross to be too slow to react, his heavy armor giving him no hope of matching her swiftness. But as her fist connects with his chest, there is no satisfying impact, no resistance that she was expecting. Instead, she feels a dull, mechanical clang as her punch is absorbed effortlessly by Ross's armor. For a brief moment, her knuckles sting from the force of the impact, but there is no sign of damage, no effect at all. Ross stands, unmoving, as though nothing has happened. Vera freezes in midair, her body suspended for a heartbeat longer than she intends, her eyes wide with disbelief. The human, despite the weight of his armor, has blocked her strike without even flinching. The shock ripples through her, but she quickly regains her composure. She lands softly, her feet barely making a sound on the arena floor. Her breath comes in shallow bursts, and she watches Ross carefully, gauging his reaction. His face, obscured by his helmet, gives nothing away. But his posture remains steady, unshaken. Vera, her voice rising in frustration, the edge of disbelief clear in her tone. What? The armor should slow you down. Her words hang in the air like a challenge, a question she needs answered. Her mind races as she processes what just happened. How did he block her attack? The armor, it shouldn't have been able to move so fast. It should have hindered him. But there's no sign of fatigue in his movements. He stands, calm and collected, as though nothing has happened. Ross shifts slightly, his movements slow but deliberate. He doesn't seem tired, not even a little out of breath. His voice comes through the speakers in his helmet, clear and calm. Ross, his tone steady, unbothered. You might be fast, but speed alone won't win this fight. His words are simple, almost dismissive, but there is an underlying weight to them, a quiet authority that leaves no room for argument. He stands there, waiting, his body a fortress of metal and strength. To him, this is no more than a sparring match. His suit, heavy as it may be, is built for this. It is designed for combat, engineered to absorb hits, to protect its wearer, and to give him a tactical advantage. Ross is in complete control. He is unbothered by Vera's speed, knowing full well that brute strength and pure agility are not enough to defeat him. Vera's frustration mounts. She has never encountered a challenge like this before. In every fight, her speed and agility have been her trump card. No one can match her in raw movement. But now, in front of her, a human encased in metal is proving her wrong. She's fought larger beings before, but this suit, it's different. She is used to the crushing weight of enemies, but she has never faced something so mechanical, so relentless. The realization sinks in slowly. The suit is not just a defense, it is part of Ross himself. He's not just relying on its strength, he's using it to enhance his own. Vera gathers herself, shaking off the sting of her first failed attack. She can't let this get to her. She can't afford to hesitate. She adjusts her stance, her body coiling like a spring, ready to strike again. Her eyes never leave Ross's, studying him, searching for any sign of weakness. He stands there, unmoving, but she can sense the energy in his posture. He's waiting for her next move. She strikes again, faster this time, using her body's natural momentum to build power. Her arms fly in a blur, targeting his sides, his legs, every possible joint and gap in the armor. Each strike comes at a different angle, a different approach, designed to catch him off guard. She attacks from the left, then the right, testing his defenses. Her movements are sharp, precise, like a masterful dance. Her speed is almost too much for the eye to follow, and yet, Ross responds with effortless ease. Each strike hits his armor with a resounding clang, the sound of metal absorbing metal. Ross's armor remains impervious, every blow absorbed and deflected with hardly any effort on his part. He moves slowly, deliberately, each movement measured, as if he's waiting for something. His arms rise to block, his legs shift to guard, and every time Vera strikes, she finds herself pushing against a wall of unyielding strength. She begins to feel the weight of her own frustration pressing down on her chest, each strike leaving her more exhausted than the last. Her attacks grow more erratic, her movements beginning to lose their precision as the fatigue sets in. She's faster than Ross, yes, but the weight of his armor and the sheer resilience it offers start to take their toll on her energy. Her muscles burn with each strike, and her breath becomes heavier, each exhale a sharp reminder of the effort required to keep up the pace. Ross, on the other hand, remains a picture of calm. His breath comes steady and unhurried, his movements controlled. It's as if he's not even sweating. The suit is doing its job perfectly. He's relying on it, yes, but it's also amplifying his strength and endurance in ways that Vera hadn't anticipated. Her frustration grows as she swings harder, faster, targeting his legs, his sides, anywhere she might find a gap. But each attack bounces off the metal surface with a resounding clang. The suit absorbs her blows with ease, and Ross doesn't even seem bothered. He watches her with a calm, almost detached gaze, his posture still upright, his movements as fluid and controlled as ever. He hasn't even broken a sweat. Vera's energy begins to drain. She feels the weight of her own movements, the sting in her muscles as they cry out for rest. She backs off, taking a few steps away from Ross, trying to catch her breath. Her eyes dart to him, studying him once more. He stands there, unwavering, his body a fortress of metal and strength. He hasn't moved an inch, hasn't been pushed back at all. The realization hits her like a wave. This fight is not just about speed. She's been relying too much on her natural abilities, on her agility. But now, faced with Ross and his armor, she sees the truth. She cannot defeat him by simply outpacing him. She needs to rethink her strategy. Her breath comes in short bursts as she stands there, her muscles aching, her mind racing. Ross hasn't been pushed back. He hasn't even flinched. This scene captures Vera's mounting frustration as her speed and agility, once her greatest strengths, prove ineffective against Ross's armor. It delves into the psychological and emotional toll the battle is taking on her, while also emphasizing the technological advantage Ross has in the form of his suit. The battle is no longer about just physical prowess, it's a clash of ideologies, of raw strength versus technology. The atmosphere is heavy, almost suffocating, as Vera begins to realize the true nature of the fight she's facing. The detailed descriptions of the strikes, the armor's impenetrability, and the mental strain on Vera provide a rich, immersive experience for the audience, allowing them to feel the tension and mystery that comes with such a high-stakes duel. Vera steps back, her chest heaving, the air thick with exhaustion as her breath comes in ragged gasps. The sound of her heartbeat pulses in her ears, a constant reminder of the battle that is still unfolding around her. Her muscles burn, her body stiff and sore from the relentless attacks she's thrown at Ross, each strike only to be absorbed by his impenetrable armor. The arena, once charged with anticipation, now feels oppressively silent, the stillness broken only by the low hum of energy that echoes through the walls. The lights overhead flicker faintly, casting long, wavering shadows across the floor, adding to the growing tension in the air. Vera's mind races, each thought sharp and fleeting, a flurry of questions and frustration. She has fought beings larger, stronger, more aggressive, but none of them have been like this. She has never met an opponent who doesn't flinch, doesn't show signs of strain. She can feel the weight of every moment, the pressure building as Ross stands before her, untouched, unbothered. The metal of his armor gleams, reflecting the dim light with an almost ominous sheen. His posture is still relaxed, as though he hasn't been in the thick of a battle at all. For a brief moment, Vera stands still, her eyes narrowing as she surveys Ross. He hasn't moved an inch, his armor absorbing her every strike without so much as a dent. The realization stings, sharp and undeniable, speed alone will not win this fight. She has been so focused on her agility, on outpacing him, that she has failed to see what he has known all along. This battle is not just about who is faster, who is stronger. It's about patience, about strategy. Her breath slows, though the exhaustion still clings to her. Her eyes flicker with a mix of determination and frustration, but there's something else beneath it, a quiet acknowledgement of Ross's words. She can feel the shift inside her, the seed of a lesson being planted. Ross, meanwhile, stands like a rock amidst the storm, his expression unreadable beneath the reflective visor of his helmet. There is no anger, no excitement in his stance. He is calm, unshaken, his body a machine in perfect synchrony with the heavy suit. He is a living testament to the power of control. Ross's voice cuts through the silence, calm as ever. His words seem to carry more weight now, more meaning. He doesn't shout, doesn't taunt. He simply speaks, the tone of his voice unwavering, steady, as though he's not speaking to an opponent, but to a student. Ross, his voice low and measured. You're fast, but you're not thinking. Speed alone doesn't win. You need to be patient, calm. The words hang in the air like a lingering fog, settling over Vera's senses. They are simple, almost too simple, yet they hit her like a tidal wave. Patience? Calm? These are concepts she has never truly considered in the heat of battle. She has always relied on her reflexes, her speed, her natural instincts. To think, to be patient, is a different kind of battle, one that requires control over more than just the body, it requires control over the mind. Vera's fingers curl into fists at her sides, the muscles in her arms trembling with the tension she's trying to suppress. Her jaw clenches, her teeth gritting together as the frustration rises once again. How could she not have known this? How could she have failed to see that her reliance on speed would be her downfall? But Ross is right, she's been reckless, too eager to land a hit, too caught up in proving her superiority. Her gaze flickers to his helmet, and for the first time, she truly sees the calm within Ross. He is not just standing still, he is centered, grounded, like a stone in a river that flows around it but cannot move it. The weight of his armor seems inconsequential to him, as if it were an extension of his very being. She envies that composure, the way he controls the space around him without needing to move quickly, without rushing. Vera, her voice tight, the frustration and determination mixing in her words. I'll show you. You can't hide behind that armor forever. There's a fire in her voice now, a defiance that pushes back against the doubt creeping into her mind. She refuses to let this moment be her defeat. She will prove Ross wrong. She has to. But something deep within her whispers that this fight is not going to be like any other she's faced. The arena's hum, once barely perceptible, seems to grow louder, as if it too is preparing for what's to come. The air around her seems to thicken, every sound amplified, every sensation heightened. Vera's chest rises and falls with each breath, her mind focusing on the rhythm of her pulse, the tension in her muscles. She feels her body, alive with energy, but also aware of the limitations she's starting to face. The ground beneath her feet feels firmer now, the coolness of the floor seeping through her boots. Her senses sharpen once more as she stands, considering Ross's words. The clarity is almost unbearable, the weight of her own thoughts pressing against her skull. She needs to focus, to change her approach. Speed isn't enough. It never was. Now, she has to learn to fight not just with her body, but with her mind. Ross doesn't move. He doesn't need to. He simply watches her, his posture relaxed, the heavy armor clinking softly as he shifts his weight. His gaze is steady, unwavering, as though he's waiting for something, waiting for Vera to truly see the truth of his words. The seconds stretch into minutes, the silence between them almost unbearable. Vera takes a deep breath and closes her eyes for a brief moment, feeling the cool air fill her lungs, then exhaling slowly, trying to center herself. Her mind quiets, the surge of frustration slowly dissipating. She imagines the fight not as a series of aggressive moves, but as a dance, one that requires grace, precision, and above all, patience. Her eyes open, and this time, her gaze is different. There is no rush in her movements, no urgency. She takes one step forward, then another, each one measured and deliberate. The atmosphere has shifted. Vera is no longer simply reacting, she is in control, slowly but surely regaining her composure. The scene serves as a pivotal moment in Vera's growth. She is no longer merely a warrior using raw speed and power to fight. She begins to understand the importance of patience, control, and strategy. The lesson Ross imparts isn't just about combat technique, it's about mental fortitude. By showing Vera the value of remaining calm, he pushes her to tap into a deeper well of strength that isn't reliant on her physical capabilities alone. The detailed descriptions of Vera's internal struggle, the physical exhaustion, the burning in her muscles, the momentary self-doubt contrast sharply with Ross's calm, steady demeanor. He doesn't need to rush. His power is in his control, and this is the lesson Vera must learn. Vera's transformation is gradual but profound. As she steps back and shifts her perspective, the tension of the scene builds, not through action, but through introspection and strategy. The quiet energy that surrounds them, whether it's the hum of the arena or the subtle changes in the air, adds to the sense that something significant is shifting within Vera. This scene not only shows Vera's growth but also establishes Ross as both a formidable opponent and a mentor. By emphasizing the psychological and emotional aspects of the battle, it sets the stage for Vera's deeper understanding of what true strength means. Her reliance on speed is no longer enough. She must learn the deeper lessons of control and patience. Vera steps back once more, the weight of the battle pressing heavily on her shoulders. The sweat drips down her forehead, but her breathing has slowed, becoming more controlled. She feels the coolness of the arena beneath her feet, the energy of the space around her both oppressive and exhilarating. The floor feels solid, unyielding, like a foundation beneath her that will not falter. It is an anchor, a reminder that she must be grounded if she is to succeed. For a moment, she closes her eyes. The hum of the arena, the faint metallic scent of Ross's armor, the distant echo of his every breath, they all blur into the background. What matters now is the rhythm of the fight. She has spent too much time relying on her natural speed and reflexes. She has failed to consider the deeper strategy required to beat Ross. Now, she knows she must shift her approach, reframe the battle in a way that allows her to use her strengths to her advantage. She opens her eyes, refocused, her gaze fixed on Ross. The sound of his breathing, steady, calm, resonates through the still air. His movements remain slow and controlled, each one a study in patience. The heavy armor, once a barrier she saw only as a weakness, is now a challenge she must overcome with cunning rather than brute force. She realizes, with a sharpness that cuts through her frustration, that her opponent is not merely the armored soldier in front of her. It is also the silent, shifting patterns in his movements, the slight gestures he makes in response to her attacks. She circles Ross, her steps deliberate, each one measured and confident. She watches him closely, studying the way he shifts his weight, the way his body turns ever so slightly before each of his actions. The smallest changes are like clues to the puzzle, and she is beginning to see the outline of it. She moves to her left, feinting a strike, testing his reaction. Ross's posture remains unflinching, but she can see at the tiniest shift, the smallest anticipation of her movement. She watches it, waits for it, then, with a sudden burst of speed, strikes to the right, catching him off guard. Her fist connects with his side, the sound of impact muffled by the thick armor, but the force of the strike sends a ripple through her body, a feeling of small success. Vera pulls her hand back immediately, her heart pounding, her muscles burning, but there's a flash of satisfaction in her chest. She caught him off guard. For a brief moment, she was one step ahead. The realization comes slowly but steadily, the first signs of her improvement. She's making progress. Ross's body doesn't react with the sharpness of pain, his armor absorbs the blow with ease. But his eyes narrow slightly, the faintest glimmer of approval flickering behind the visor. His stance doesn't falter. He doesn't shift or flinch from the attack. He remains calm, unwavering, but there's a subtle shift in the way he watches her now, a new respect, perhaps, or a quiet acknowledgement of her growing skill. The arena feels more alive now, the air thicker with the energy of this moment. Vera, for the first time, feels the shift within herself. The weight of the battle no longer presses down as a burden. It is a challenge, yes, but one she now feels prepared to meet. She is no longer chasing after Ross with wild energy. She is reading him, understanding the flow of his movements. She is beginning to think before she acts, to pace herself, to wait for the right moment. Ross, his voice low, impressed but steady. Better. You're learning. The words hang in the air between them, and Vera feels a swell of pride in her chest. It's a small victory, one that doesn't come with the rush of triumph she's used to. This is different. This victory is internal, a quiet acknowledgement of the progress she's made. It's the first step toward truly understanding her opponent, not just his movements, but his rhythm, his control. She smiles, but it's not a smile of arrogance. It's the kind of smile that comes from a place of quiet confidence, the kind of smile that comes from within. She realizes that this battle isn't just about proving herself to Ross, or to anyone else. It's about proving to herself that she can adapt, that she can learn, that she is more than just her speed. She prepares to strike again, her body still aching, but her mind now clearer than ever before. She isn't rushing. She isn't relying solely on her speed anymore. She moves with intention, each step part of a larger plan. As she steps forward, her gaze locked on Ross, she knows that this fight is far from over, but now she's ready to face whatever comes next. The clash of metal and the rhythmic pounding of footsteps reverberate through the arena, a slow, steady tempo as the battle progresses. Vera's movements have become more calculated now, no longer wild or frantic, but precise, measured. Each strike she makes is no longer a desperate attempt to overpower her opponent but a careful calculation, a test of Ross's defenses. Her speed, once the sole weapon she relied on, is now being used to manipulate the pace of the fight, to force Ross into reacting to her. The air between them is thick with intensity, charged with every movement, every decision made in the heat of the battle. Vera moves with the fluidity of water, shifting direction at a moment's notice, striking from unexpected angles. Ross, as always, remains steady, his armor absorbing every blow, each clang of metal a reminder of the suit's resilience. His stance is calm, as though he's simply observing the fight, waiting for the right moment. His eyes, hidden behind the reflective visor of his helmet, offer no clues as to his thoughts, but Vera can feel the stillness emanating from him, a kind of quiet confidence that unsettles her. The fight continues at its frenetic pace, each moment feeling like an eternity. Vera's breath comes quicker now, her muscles aching from the relentless strain of the fight. Yet, she pushes forward, her mind sharper than ever before. She knows she's improving, but something still eludes her. Ross's armor may be an unyielding fortress, but it's his calm, his ability to control the flow of the fight, that she has yet to fully comprehend. As the duel rages on, Vera feels herself becoming more and more aware of her own limitations, and yet, she is determined to keep pushing forward. Then, without warning, Ross takes a step back. His movements are deliberate, his body shifting just enough to create some distance between them. The arena seems to quiet, the hum of energy filling the space as Ross removes his helmet, slowly and carefully. The sound of the helmet detaching is faint, but it echoes in the silence that follows. As it falls to the ground with a soft clink, Vera's gaze is drawn to him. For the first time, she sees his face. The face beneath the helmet is not what she expected. He is not a giant of a man, not a terrifying warrior built from muscle alone. Instead, Ross's face is weathered, lined with the quiet strength of someone who has fought many battles not with brute force, but with something deeper. His eyes, now visible, hold a kind of wisdom that Vera has not yet encountered. There's a calmness in his gaze, something that speaks of experience and inner peace. His features are hard, but not unkind, and there is a subtle intensity in the way he watches her, as though he is seeing something in her that she has yet to understand. Vera stands frozen for a moment, caught off guard by the sudden vulnerability Ross has shown. The removal of his helmet feels like a symbolic gesture, one that reveals not just his physical face but also the quiet depth of his understanding. He is not just an armored soldier, he is a man who has mastered the art of control, the art of seeing beyond the surface of the battle. For the first time, Vera feels the weight of his presence not as an opponent, but as a teacher. Ross, his voice low and steady, a hint of approval in his tone. You've got skill, Vera. But it's not about winning in one move. It's about control. Vera's breath catches in her throat. His words strike deep, resonating in a way she hadn't expected. She has always been about quick victories, about striking fast and hard. But what Ross is saying feels like the answer she's been searching for. It's not about overpowering him with speed, with sheer force. It's about control over her movements, control over the pace of the fight, control over her own mind. She takes a step back, her eyes not leaving him. The weight of his words settles over her like a heavy cloak. She's been fighting for dominance, for a decisive victory, but she realizes now that true strength doesn't lie in speed or power alone. It lies in the ability to stay calm, to control the fight, to understand when to strike and when to wait. Ross's voice breaks through her thoughts once again, this time with a deeper intensity. Ross, his gaze never wavering, his voice almost reverent. The armor isn't what makes me strong. It's the mind. Strength comes from inside. Vera's mind reels as she processes his words. She had believed, like so many others, that strength came from physical power, from the body's ability to overpower. But Ross is showing her something different. It's not the armor that protects him. It's his mind, his ability to remain calm, to keep control of his emotions, his decisions, and his actions. The strength is internal, it's in the way he can manipulate the flow of the fight, not just through physical strength but through mental clarity. Her pride stings, a sharp reminder that she has been too focused on proving her worth through her speed and power. She had believed that these were the only tools she needed, but now, standing before Ross, she understands that there is so much more to strength than what meets the eye. Her speed, her agility, they are powerful, yes, but they are not enough if she cannot control them. If she cannot control herself. Her gaze hardens as she stares at him. The frustration she feels now is different. It's not the anger of defeat, but the quiet understanding that she has been fighting in the wrong way. She has been chasing victory, but she has forgotten what it truly means to be strong. Ross's wisdom cuts through her like a blade, stripping away the layers of arrogance and pride that have clouded her vision. There's a flicker of respect in her chest now, respect for Ross, for his calm, his wisdom, and for the strength he has shown her. It's a respect born not from admiration of his physical power, but from an understanding that true strength lies in something deeper, something far more difficult to achieve: control over the self. Ross doesn't break his gaze. He stands there, waiting, watching her as if he knows exactly what she's thinking, exactly what she's feeling. His calm demeanor hasn't shifted in the slightest. He doesn't need to prove anything to her. He is simply there, offering the lesson, waiting for her to receive it. The tension in the arena shifts once again. Vera stands in the quiet, processing everything that has been said, everything that has been learned. She has taken the first step, but there is still so much more to uncover. Ross has given her the key, but it is up to her to unlock the door. The path ahead is clear now, and with each passing moment, Vera feels the weight of her own potential shifting. The arena is alive with the palpable buzz of anticipation. The air crackles with energy, and the silence hangs like a heavy mist, thick and suffocating. The crowd, a sea of silent witnesses, watches with rapt attention, their collective breath held. Every eye is fixed on Vera, who stands in the center of the arena, her posture different now. Her shoulders, once tense with the weight of frustration, are relaxed, her body poised with a new kind of energy. Gone is the raw, unrefined power of the fighter who rushed headlong into battle. In her place is someone entirely new, someone calm, controlled, and ready. Vera's chest rises and falls with slow, deliberate breaths. Her body is tired, the ache in her muscles a constant reminder of the struggle she's endured. But there is something else beneath that fatigue, a quiet determination, a stillness that wasn't there before. She stands like a statue, unmoving, yet alive with energy. Her mind is sharp, her senses finely tuned to every movement, every breath, every shift in the atmosphere around her. She isn't just trying to defeat Ross anymore. She's learning from him. The battle has ceased to be about victory, it's about understanding. Ross stands a few paces away, his gaze unwavering, watching her with the same calm intensity he's shown all along. He doesn't speak, doesn't need to. His presence alone is enough to push her forward, to remind her of the lesson that still remains. Vera has learned much, but there's one final step to take. This is the final test. The one that will define whether she has truly understood the path he's been showing her. The weight of the crowd's gaze bears down on her, but it no longer feels heavy. The arena, once an intimidating expanse, now feels like a space she can control. She is no longer overwhelmed by the noise of the battle or the pressure of expectation. She has become part of the arena, part of the air, part of the very pulse that flows around her. She is still, and yet, in that stillness, she is more alive than ever before. The silence stretches on for what feels like an eternity before Vera speaks, her voice calm and steady, cutting through the thick tension in the air. Vera, her voice steady, resolute. I'm ready. Let's continue. Her words echo in the arena, filling the space with a quiet confidence. There is no fear in her voice, no hesitation. Only a calm certainty, as if she has found the truth in herself that she's been searching for. The challenge is no longer about proving herself, about defeating Ross. It is about testing the strength of the lesson she has learned, about seeing if she can truly control the flow of the fight, as he has taught her. Vera takes a step forward, her movements slow, deliberate. The rush of adrenaline that once fueled her has been replaced by a stillness, a calculated calmness. She is not rushing into the fight anymore, she is moving with purpose. Her speed, once a weapon of overwhelming force, is now a tool for control. She anticipates Ross's every move, every shift of his weight, every subtle change in his stance. She watches him closely, her eyes tracking the faintest movements, as if she's reading the very rhythm of the battle. Ross moves, as he always does, slow, measured, deliberate. He steps forward, his body shifting with the weight of the armor. But this time, Vera isn't caught off guard. She sees the shift before it happens, her senses attuned to the smallest detail. Ross moves to strike, but Vera doesn't react with speed. Instead, she dodges, stepping to the side with fluid grace, her movements flowing like water around his attack. There is no rush, no urgency. Vera doesn't need to strike. She doesn't need to overpower him. She is controlling the rhythm now. Her speed isn't a tool of destruction, it's a tool of control. She uses it to weave around Ross's strikes, to keep him on the defensive, to make him react to her movements rather than the other way around. Ross's movements are precise, but Vera is one step ahead. She ducks under one of his swings, her body a blur of motion. She moves in, but instead of launching a strike, she shifts her weight, guiding the flow of the fight, her body shifting with an elegance that makes it seem as if the fight is not a clash, but a dance. For the first time, Ross seems to be on the back foot. His movements are still calculated, but they are no longer in sync with the rhythm of the battle. Vera is controlling the pace now. She's no longer reacting, she's dictating the flow. She feels it in her bones, the way she can feel the pulse of the fight, the way her mind anticipates every move before it happens. There is a moment of stillness between them, as if the world itself has paused to watch the battle unfold. Vera stands there, poised, calm, her body centered and strong. She isn't thinking of victory. She isn't thinking of defeat. She is simply being fully present in the moment, fully aware of every movement, every sensation, every breath. Ross stands before her, his eyes watching her closely, his posture still calm. He isn't rushing either. He's watching her closely, waiting for the next move. The tension between them is palpable, like the calm before a storm. Vera doesn't attack, doesn't rush in. Instead, she moves again, just out of reach of Ross's next strike. She lets the rhythm of the fight unfold naturally, responding with precision, reacting with control. The fight becomes less about force and more about understanding herself, understanding Ross, and understanding the true nature of combat. The arena is bathed in a flickering light, the atmosphere thick with tension, every breath of the crowd hanging in the air like a suspended moment. The clang of metal against metal echoes, loud and steady, like the pulse of a distant heartbeat. The battle rages on, but there is a quiet shift in the air, a stillness beneath the surface of the fight. The once chaotic clash of strikes has become a delicate dance, each move now part of a greater, unseen rhythm. The arena seems to pulse with energy, as if the very ground beneath Vera's feet is alive, responding to the focus and intent she carries within herself. Vera's body is weary, the ache of battle still lingering in her muscles. But the exhaustion no longer weighs her down. It is a familiar pain, one she now understands. Her breath comes in steady, controlled intervals, her heart beating with a steady rhythm, her body working as one. She has learned, through the past exchanges, how to harness her energy, how to control it. She isn't rushing in anymore. She is no longer chasing victory with desperation or fear. She is simply present, focused on the moment, and listening to the flow of the fight. Ross, standing before her, is the same as ever. His armor gleams in the dim light, and his posture remains steady, his breath calm and controlled. He is the embodiment of composure, unbothered by the fatigue that must surely be weighing on him as much as it is on Vera. He moves with the same methodical precision, his every step measured, his every block calculated. Yet there is something different now. Vera can feel it, a slight shift in the way Ross is reacting to her. He isn't just waiting for her to make a move anymore. He is watching her closely, evaluating her. There is a respect in his eyes, something that wasn't there before. He's no longer just the teacher, he's also the student, learning from her as she learns from him. Vera steps forward, her body flowing like water, controlled yet fluid. The fight has become less about the clash of power and more about the dance of strategy, the ebb and flow of the moment. Her senses are sharpened, every detail of Ross's movements clear in her mind. She sees him shift his weight, anticipates his next move, and with a sudden burst of speed, she strikes this time, not in a wild, uncontrolled rush, but with deliberate precision. She aims for his chest, targeting a small gap in his armor, the slightest weakness she's spotted after studying his every movement. Her fist connects with the surface of his armor, and for the briefest moment, time seems to slow. The sound of the impact is muffled by the thick metal, but it resonates in Vera's ears like a distant echo, a confirmation of the progress she's made. Her breath catches in her throat as the energy of the strike pulses through her arm, a sharp sting of success. Ross's body shifts slightly, his stance faltering for just an instant, but then he stands steady again, unaffected by the blow. Vera steps back, panting, her heart racing with exhilaration. She has landed a blow small, almost insignificant in the grand scheme of the battle, but it's a victory nonetheless. It's a tangible proof that she has learned, that she has changed. For the first time in the fight, she smiles, her chest rising and falling with each breath, the weight of the moment sinking in. Vera, her voice breathless but filled with quiet triumph. I did it. The words come out almost in disbelief, as if she cannot quite comprehend the significance of the blow she has landed. It's a small victory, a fleeting moment, but it feels like a culmination of everything she's been through, the lessons learned, the frustrations overcome, and the strength she has found within herself. She stands there, smiling, her body still vibrating with the energy of the moment, her eyes fixed on Ross as she waits for his response. Ross doesn't move immediately. For a moment, he simply stands there, his expression unreadable behind his helmet. Then, slowly, he nods. The motion is subtle but deliberate, an acknowledgement of Vera's progress. His voice comes through the speakers in his helmet, calm as ever, yet with an undeniable hint of approval. Ross, his voice steady, but with a note of pride. Good. But remember, the real battle is not just about fighting. It's about mastering yourself. The words hang in the air, resonating deeply within Vera. They are simple, but they carry the weight of everything Ross has taught her. Her mind races as she processes his words. The battle is no longer just about defeating Ross, about landing that one perfect blow. It never was. The true challenge, the true test of strength, is not in overpowering an opponent. It is in mastering oneself and controlling the mind, the body, and the emotions that drive the fight. It's about finding the right moment, not just to strike, but to understand. Vera stands there, her chest still rising and falling with each breath, her body still charged with the energy of the fight, but there is a quiet understanding beginning to settle within her. Ross has given her the key, and now, for the first time, she truly understands what he meant. It isn't about winning. It's about the journey, about learning to control every aspect of herself, not just her body, but her mind and spirit. That is where true strength lies. She gazes at Ross, her mind clearer than it has ever been before. Her pride, though still present, has taken on a different shape. It's no longer the arrogance of the reckless fighter, but the quiet pride of someone who has learned, who has grown. The fight, for Vera, is no longer a contest of strength. It is a test of her ability to remain calm, to stay focused, and to master the flow of battle in a way that doesn't just rely on force. She has taken the first step toward understanding what it means to be truly strong, and she is ready to face whatever comes next. The arena stands silent, still, as the echoes of battle fade into the distance. The light above flickers once more, casting long shadows that stretch across the floor like ghosts of the fight that has just transpired. The hum of the arena's energy seems quieter now, as though it too recognizes the shift that has occurred within Vera. Vera stands in the center of the arena, her body battered, weary from the prolonged fight. Her muscles ache, and her breath comes slow and deliberate, but there is no panic, no desperation in her movements. She stands tall, her back straight, her head held high as though the very weight of the battle has made her stronger, more grounded. The fight has taken much from her, but it has given her far more in return, lessons that go beyond mere combat. Her skin, once flushed with the heat of exertion, now cools in the stillness. She feels the pulse of her own heartbeat, steady and strong, as if it is aligned with the rhythm of the world around her. Her breath no longer comes in ragged gasps but in deep, controlled intervals, a reflection of the calmness that has settled in her mind. The exhaustion is still there, a dull ache in her limbs, but it no longer feels like a burden. It is a reminder of the journey she has undertaken, a journey that has transformed her from a raw, impulsive fighter into someone who truly understands the essence of battle. The arena, once a place of overwhelming pressure, now feels like a sacred space, as if the ground itself has absorbed her growth, her evolution. The walls, which once seemed towering and oppressive, now feel like silent witnesses to her transformation. The air itself feels thicker, charged with the energy of the battle that has just ended, and with the quiet power that now courses through Vera's veins. Ross stands a few paces away, watching her with quiet respect. His posture is the same as always, calm, controlled, but his eyes, those eyes hold something different now. They are no longer merely observing her as an opponent. There is a flicker of recognition in his gaze, a silent acknowledgement that Vera has not just fought him but has also mastered herself. The battle between them, in many ways, was never just about physical strength or skill. It was about the internal struggle that each of them faced in the arena of the mind. Ross doesn't speak immediately. His silence is not judgment or uncertainty, but something deeper, something that acknowledges the change that has occurred within Vera. He looks at her, not with the eyes of a teacher observing a pupil, but as a fellow warrior who has seen the potential that now stands before him. Vera's eyes meet his, and for the first time in their encounter, there is no animosity, no rivalry in her gaze. There is only understanding of herself and of the lesson that has been imparted to her. Her body, though weary, stands firm, her posture a reflection of the quiet confidence that has taken root inside her. Ross, his voice low, filled with quiet approval. "You've come a long way. Now you're ready." The words settle over Vera like a warm, affirming breeze. They are simple, but they carry the weight of everything she has learned. It is not the first time Ross has spoken to her in this way, but this time, the recognition feels different. This time, it is not just about what she has accomplished in the battle. It is about what she has accomplished within herself. She has become someone new, not just stronger physically, but more balanced, more aware of the true nature of strength. Vera's eyes flicker toward the horizon, her gaze drawn to the vast expanse beyond the arena. The ground beneath her feels solid, unyielding, and yet, she can sense that the world beyond is full of unknowns. It's not a frightening thought, though. There is no fear in her heart. Only a quiet excitement, a sense of readiness. She is no longer just the impulsive fighter who entered this arena. She is someone different now, someone who understands the importance of patience, of control, of mastering herself. Her gaze lingers on the horizon, and in that moment, she feels the weight of everything she has learned. The fight with Ross, the lessons he imparted, the struggle to control not just her body but her mind and spirit, it all makes sense now. The fight was never about defeating him. It was about learning to control herself, learning to be present in the moment, and learning that true strength comes from within. This is the true test of a warrior, not how many battles they win, but how they transform through the challenges they face. Vera's breath steadies, the sense of calm now fully taking root within her. She is ready not just for the challenges that lie ahead, but for the journey of self-discovery that will continue long after the arena fades from view. She stands tall, confident in her own abilities, but humble in the knowledge that there is always more to learn. The world is full of challenges, but she is no longer afraid to face them. She knows that the strength she seeks is not found in her speed, not in her physical power, but in her ability to control herself, to remain focused and balanced in the face of adversity. Vera stands at the edge of the training grounds, her gaze fixed on the horizon. The world before her stretches wide and open, as if inviting her to step forward, to move beyond the boundaries of the arena that has been both her battleground and her sanctuary. The sun hangs low, casting a golden glow that seems to shimmer against the distant hills. The faint breeze stirs the dust beneath her feet, and for a moment, she stands motionless, her senses alive with the quiet hum of energy that still lingers in the air. Her body aches, her muscles sore from the intensity of the fight, the strain of pushing her limits and overcoming her own doubts. The battle with Ross has left its mark, but it is not a mark of defeat. It is a mark of growth. Each bruise, each weariness, is a reminder of the path she has walked, a path that has transformed her from a young, reckless fighter into someone who has come to understand the deeper meaning of strength. The wind brushes against her skin, cool and refreshing, like a new beginning, a promise of the road ahead. Vera closes her eyes for a brief moment, breathing in the scent of the earth, the smell of the training grounds that have witnessed her evolution. There is no fear in her heart, only a deep, knowing calmness. The noise of the world outside, the chaos of the unknown, no longer threatens her. It simply exists, a world that she is now ready to step into. She feels the power of the ground beneath her feet, the solid earth that supports her, grounding her in the present moment. The strength she has found is not just in her limbs, not just in the speed and skill she has honed, it is in her ability to control her mind, to remain patient and focused, to be present in every step, every decision. She has learned the most important lesson of all: true strength does not come from brute force. It comes from within, from mastering oneself. Her eyes open slowly, and she looks at Ross, standing a few paces away. His gaze is steady, calm, as always, and there is no need for words between them now. The fight has ended, but the respect between them remains, as solid as the ground beneath her feet. There is no longer any rivalry, no longer any need for one-upmanship. Ross has shown her the truth of combat and the truth of herself. He has been both her opponent and her guide, leading her through the process of understanding that the true battle is not with the outside world, but with the self. Vera's chest rises and falls with a slow, controlled breath. She feels the weight of his gaze, the unspoken approval that hangs between them. He doesn't need to say anything. She knows she has grown. She knows she is ready for what comes next. Her body is tired, yes, but her spirit is stronger than it has ever been. She stands tall, her posture now one of quiet confidence, not brash arrogance. She has learned to be still, to control her movements, to move with intention rather than out of reflex. She is no longer the reckless fighter who relied on instinct and speed to win. She is something more, a warrior who understands the true meaning of strength, a person who knows that every challenge faced is an opportunity to grow, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Vera looks at Ross once more, her eyes meeting his with an expression that is both knowing and respectful. There is no need for more words. The lessons have been learned. The battle, both external and internal, has shaped her into the person she has become. She nods once, a simple gesture, but one that holds everything: thanks, acknowledgement, and understanding. Without another word, Vera turns away from the training grounds. The weight of the past slips off her shoulders as she takes her first step. The ground beneath her feels firm, steady. Each step she takes feels like a small victory in itself, a confirmation that she is no longer bound by the limitations she once imposed on herself. The world outside the arena is vast, full of unknowns and challenges, but it no longer scares her. She is ready. The path ahead is unclear, but Vera no longer seeks clarity in the destination. She has learned that the journey itself is the true measure of a warrior. Every step, every challenge, is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to discover new depths within herself. The road may be long, but she is ready for it. She has found her true strength not in the battles she has fought, but in the way she has learned to face each one with patience, control, and a deep trust in herself. Vera walks toward the horizon, the setting sun casting a warm glow over her figure. The world feels different now, as if the very air around her is charged with possibility. The challenges ahead are unknown, but for the first time, she feels equipped to face them. She will continue to grow, continue to learn, and with each step, she will uncover more about herself, about the true nature of strength, and about the path that lies before her. Thank you for joining us on the UFO Enigma, where the mysteries of the universe are not just told, but truly felt. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the fascinating stories to come. Let your imagination soar, because out there, among the stars, something is always waiting to be discovered. See you in the next adventure.